welcome into Bill Hunter Arena. It's Junior B Tier 1 North action. The host Edmonton Warriors taking on the visiting Fort Saskatchewan Rebels. The Warriors come in at 2-5, sitting in 4th in the North Division in the basement, while the Rebels roll in at 4-3, up atop the North Division in 1st. The Warriors will be wearing their home blacks, moving from left to right on your screen, while the Rebels will be wearing white, their road whites, and moving right to left. And we've got the opening draw here, and that's Calix Simonson, again wearing those nice kicks. It's his birthday today, and he's also the Rebels' leading scorer, coming in with 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points. Talked to his dad just before the game, told him he's got to pot at least 5. It's lofty expectations. We'll see if he's able to achieve that, as off the draw, the Rebels are called for a violation, and it'll be Warriors ball. Ball over on the right side. Ball swings into the stick of Lafleur. Lafleur to the net, twister, 5-hole scores. Benjamin Lafleur grabs the opening marker here, and just 17 seconds in, the Warriors take an early lead. Fooled at goaltender Carpenter there. Had him stepping to the short side and was able to get the ball through the wickets. Ball goes loose off the draw, and the Warriors are going to grab it. Here's Bilodeau, who had the ball pop out of his stick, and he regathers it. Bilodeau down to the dotted line and gets the ball back up high to Connors, who quickly swings it down low to Morris, who comes up with it. Morris to Andrusiak to Nicholson. Nicholson swings it quickly over to Connors, but the ball was a little high. Connors picks up the loose change and gets it to Morris. Morris off his back foot. That shot gets soaked, and Big Walsh will run down the floor and grab it, but he's going to have to go in the corner. Now Jolivet for the Rebels swings it into the stick of Pook. Pook with Kohut, left side, 2-man game. Kohut to the net. Kohut scores. Jackson Kohut throws a fake and then goes short side, about hip high, on starting netminder Ava Pinch to tie it up at 1. So off the left side, the 2-man game is successful. And the Rebels find themselves back even. And this time, the Warriors get nabbed for the violation, and Bajma will come up near center, and he throws it to Manning, who recollects off the boards. Manning, quick feed down low to Pook, who's cutting in behind the Warrior D. Backdoor. Baldwin was a little low, and the ball is picked up by the Warriors. Here's Redlick. Redlick to Lafleur. Already has a goal here. Connors. Stripped momentarily, picks it back up. Connors to Royer, who is the leading scorer for the Warriors right now with 10 points so far in the season. Morris gets chased out. Now ball over on the right side, back over to Lafleur. Ball goes loose, and Longmire will go away with it. Here's Longmire into the offensive zone. He rolls back out and gets it to Kohut. Kohut to a wide open Jolivet, and he scores. Left all alone in front of the net, Ethan Jolivet, 2-1. That definitely was a defensive breakdown by the Warriors. Somebody lost their man, and the Rebels capitalize. Face-off win for the Warriors. Bilodeau stomps over center. Now he gets it to Connors. Over to Basinger. Now up to Redlick. Redlick swings it into the stick of Basinger. Basinger throws it away. It's picked off. And here go the Rebels in. And now it's right in the midsection of Pinch, who doesn't know where it is. But the ball is picked up by the Warriors. Looked like Thiessen on the breakaway turned away. Ball swings into the stick of Royer. Royer fakes it, takes it, and that's stopped by Carpenter. Now Walsh runs out over center, and he's got a breakaway. He feeds it to Bajma. Bajma scores. Bajma goes upstairs, short side, top corner, 3-1. Goals aplenty here early from Bill Hunter. A lot of open floor and a lot of train track to work with. We saw this at the first meeting of the season, really, for both teams, the Warriors and Rebels, and the Rebels were able to get everything they wanted in transition, and it's starting off that way again here. Here's Thiessen, the rookie out of Sherwood Park. Up high, gets it to Manning, also out of Sherwood Park in his second year. Ball over to Pook. Pook wards off a check. No free hand call, and now that shot by Walsh was taken wildly, and it'll be Warrior ball. Here's Babiak. A couple of Warriors go off the bench and cut through the middle. Dangerous pass there. Andrusiak is able to knock it down. Andrusiak invites the contact and now gets it to Connors. Connors to Royer. Royer tried to get it over to Andrusiak, and then Andrusiak picks up the loose ball off the glass, fires it, stopped by Carpenter. Royer shoots that into the stick of Mr. Carpenter. 3-1, 15:55 to go here, opening period. Thanks so much for joining us here on CROW LAX TV. Free lacrosse, just hit subscribe, you'll be notified every time a game goes live. Here's Simonson with a fake. And he looks for someone to dish to. Gets it to Kohat. Kohat, stutter step. And he regains his balance and gets it back out to Pook. Pook winds and fires, and that goes off the midsection of Pinch up into the ceiling, and it'll be Rebel ball on the reset. Jolivet cuts and had the ball fall out of his stick before he shot it. He didn't quite bring it in, and Evelyn comes back. Evelyn again out of Ontario, playing his first year junior B. Connors to Morris. Morris swings to Nicholson. Nicholson gets a pick. Dylan Nicholson down underneath, now back up. Nicholson to Connors. Now over to Morris. And Morris bounces that way wide. It'll be Rebel possession. Bajma has some space here. Stops up, gets it to Manning. Manning swings it. Pook, half wall. Steps around to check. Now Redlick slides onto him. Now Pook, bad pass over to Manning. That pops up in the air. And now the loose ball goes free. And a couple of Warriors tie it up. And it'll be Warrior ball. Stashniak to Andrusiak. Andrusiak up high to Connors, who promptly gets it over to the right side. And that's Royer. Royer into the middle, lost it. Trying to do a little too much there was the rookie. And now the ball comes back out and outletted to Vetch. Vetch had to hurry to avoid the 8-second count. And the captain will make his way into the offensive zone. Kohat back to the stutter step. Gets it to Baker. Baker to the middle. Baker in, and he tried to tuck that short side. This time it was turned away by Pinch. Jackson Baker just off of becoming the Rebels' all-time leading goal scorer this past weekend, getting to 105 in what was a losing cause as they dropped all three this past weekend in Winnipeg. Here is Lafleur. He's going to have to put it down on the illegal pick. The moving screen results in a Rebels possession. Ball here now with Jolivet. Jolivet to Simonson. Simonson to Daypins, and he shoots one low on pinch. Now the ball goes way up in the air. Bad pass. Morris is going to try and track it down. He's going to battle for it with a couple of Rebels, and now the ball's picked up by goaltender Carpenter. Then Vetch couldn't handle it, and Lentz will pick up the loose ball. He almost throws it away, but Morris grabs it. Morris is hit heavily into the boards. He bounces off of it, gets it to Nicholson. Nicholson tried to feed it down low to Andrusiak, didn't connect. Now Vetch picks it up, and Vetch is going to have to make his way through a couple of Warriors. He goes down, but the ball bounces to Thiessen. 12:30 to go in the opening frame. Rebels 3, Warriors 1. Cutting there down the middle was Pook. Couldn't bring the ball in through traffic, and now the Warriors come back out with it. Blake Cameron this time. He defers to Lafleur, who has the lone Warrior goal here. Connors, Basinger. Quickly to Lafleur, and he bounced that wide. And it'll be Rebel ball. The Rebels come back in. Ball up with Daypins. I believe that might be Braden Hackett there with the ball. Not on the sheet, and then he's taken heavily into the boards. And despite that, it'll be Warrior ball. Connors directs traffic up top. Morris. Now over to Andrusiak. Andrusiak has a cutting Royer, and he dropped it and stepped in the crease, and they'll blow it dead and say Rebel ball. Long lead feed out of the bench, and big save there by Ava on the breakaway as she turned away Ashton Johnson. Coat to Manning. Couple of Warriors over here to cover him. No Rebel. They got 4 lefts and only 1 right, and Manning just sort of makes his way across the top and floats one into the belly of Pinch. Here is Cameron back, and he will go to Morris. Morris over to Lafleur. Lafleur, Andrusiak. Little drag move there, and Connors shot one off with a mask of Carpenter, and the loose ball is picked up by Vetch. Vetch throws a pass to Bajma. Bajma rolls around a defender. Bajma looking for his second. Misses the net. Ball is picked up by Daypins. And he gets it to Jolivet. Jolivet recollects it. Hop step to the middle of the floor, and he puts that right in to the midsection of Pinch. She'll look to outlet. Reaching the halfway point of this first period as Pennock mishandles it. That was probably over and back. They call 8 seconds, and it'll be Rebel ball. Now with a wide open shooting lane is Johnson. He misses, and the ball's picked up by Nickel. Nickel up to Johnson. He gets it quickly to Cohat. And Cohat calling for guys to get onto the floor. And he's knocked into the boards by Bilodeau, and Bilodeau gives him a whack, and they're going to call it. Cohat shoots that in and turned away by Pinch, but the Warriors will go to the box. And I would imagine it's 2 minutes for slashing to Bilodeau. That's exactly what it is, so the Rebels will get the game's first power play here. It'll be Simonson up top, Cohat and Manning on the shooters, and Baker. And it looks like Hackett down on the near crease. Simonson skips it. Baker winds and double clutch and then took the shot, got stopped, and now Brody Stashnik was going to pick up the loose ball, and he's surrounded by Rebels. Stashnik gets pinned on the far boards. He works his way a little ways through the check, and now he's going to draw a penalty. It'll be a cross check, and Walsh will go to the box for the Rebs. So up top will be Connors. He's joined there by Morris and Andrusiak. Nicholson also on the left side. They play 4-on-4. Connors. Thought about the shot, drags it, goes underneath his defender. Connors to the net, stopped by Carpenter. Good aggressive play there to get to the top of the crease and challenge the shot there by Carpenter. Maybe his best save of the game to this point. Bajma to the net. Bajma hits the post, and the ball goes back out to the boards, and Kohut fires it down to Jolivet. He's going to go through the crease, and it'll be Warrior ball. Still 4-on-4 here as the Warriors come back down floor. Babiak gets it over to Royer. He's got Basinger over on the right side with him. Royer thought about coming across the top. He rolls back down into the middle. Dylan Nicholson. Nicholson behind the back. Stopped by Carpenter. Here's Manning. Ball's picked off, and here goes Redlick, who's dangerous in transition. Trenton Redlick puts his shoulder into the defender, as he always does, and then steps back and shoots, but he's turned away. Redlick now up high with it. And the Warriors will have a brief power play here for about 25 seconds as Redlick finally turns around and they can get the rest of their power play out there. But now there's only 15 on the clock and only 10 on the shot clock. Backdoor, and Andrusiak didn't have a shot. Andrusiak gets it up top. Connors winds, fires, stop. Nicholson picks up the loose ball, and he's pushed on the back, no call, and then he rolled it behind his back to Royer. Royer in behind the net. Takes a couple of whacks there from Nickel. Royer looking to feed it. Royer up top, Andrusiak. It looked like it went off a Rebel defender and wide, and it'll be Warrior, or it'll be Rebel ball. 6:54 to go now, opening frame. Rebels still leading 3-1. After a flurry of goals early, there hasn't been one for about 10 minutes of game time here. Jolivet gets it to Baker. Baker stopped. Now in front was Pook. He almost dragged the ball around his defender, Pennock. Lost it at the last second. And now Lentz will get the outlet and transition out over center. Lentz gets the ball up high to Connors, who throws it away. And here go the Rebels. It's Johnson over this timeline. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but the Rebels are taking forever to get out on the floor, and it's causing a lot of pressure for their ball carriers. Johnson getting chased around the floor. Manning to the dotted, and he rolls one at pinch. Here's Evelyn. He's going to run up floor. Evelyn gets it to Cameron, and he'll stop up and wait for help. Royer to the half wall where Morris awaits it. Morris up top now. His shot got jammed up, and then Andrusiak almost had the loose ball and had an open net but couldn't bring it in. And here's Nickel. Last time these two teams played, I believe he had at least 2, maybe 3 goals in transition. He gets it to Baker. Jackson Baker. Up top. Man, tried to shoot around the defender. It got soaked. Here's Hackett. Hackett shoots a shot that's way wide. And the ball goes up and into the penalty box underneath the mesh. It'll be Warrior possession. Redlick to Nicholson. Nicholson off the bar. He leaned short side and then fired it back to the far side as Carpenter stepped with him. Good shot and just got unlucky there. As the ball comes back down as Walsh gets stopped by Pinch. Reese Walsh this time. Royer avoids a check and gets it to Morris. Morris winds and shoots one off of the shoulder of Carpenter. Nicholson checked heavily there by Bajma. The ball stripped away and Bajma is going to get in there and battle for it. Now he's joined there by teammate Thiessen. Thiessen chases Nicholson out on the loose ball. Nicholson, with 10 seconds on the shot clock, loses it. Bajma was going to throw it away, though, after creating the turnover. And Lentz will go and collect. 3:50 to go here. First period, still 3-1 Rebs. Ball over on the far side. Connors. Connors to the middle. Connors got underneath his defender and had access to the net, but the shot looked like it sort of hit something on its way to the net. Now Andrusiak's going to go collect the loose ball in the near corner. Andrusiak gets it over to Connors on the swing. Morris sets a hard back pick, but Connors lost the ball. He's thrown into the boards a little bit by Vetch. He gets away. Connors up high. Connors winds and right off the mask again of Carpenter. It's the second time Connors has gotten Carpenter up high in the mask as Jama chases Vetch out over center. Now off the bench, Kohut couldn't bring the ball in. He was open. And the ball goes loose. Been a pretty sloppy first period here from Bill Hunter Arena. Next goal pretty important. See if the Warriors can narrow this down to 1 before the break. Here's Jama. Jama gets it to Nicholson. Nicholson skips it. Basinger tried to get it back to him, but it looked like he was trying to pull it back as he was passing the ball. And here go the Rebels. Bajma has been coming down the floor with the ball a heck of a lot here in this game, been pretty noticeable. And quite frankly, has looked like the Rebels' best player. Ball up high. Here is Manning, down to Hackett. Hackett back to Manning. He's hit there. Cameron pushes Manning into the crease, and the shot is stopped by Pinch. Ball's mishandled there and had to be recollected by Andrusiak. Here's Lafleur. Out over to Connors. Connors into the middle. And that behind the back goes wide by Lafleur. Ball up high. Royer tried to quick stick that in on net. Lost it, and it'll be a 30-second shot clock violation. Rebels ball. Now Jolivet has one here. Gets knocked away from the middle of the floor. Jolivet to Pook. Pook gets the little bit of a pick there, but Kohut kind of ran away from it at the end, and then the loose ball goes out in front of the net. And an odd one there. Daypins gets it. It's 4-1. My mistake. That looks like, yeah, that is Carson Martello in net. Just got a text. So my bad. That's Martello in net, not Carpenter. And it looks like Daypins gets his first as they chuck the ball into the bench. Jama wins the draw. And he gets it to Redlick. Redlick survives a hack and gets the ball up to Nicholson. Morris had that ball go by him. And here go the Rebels. Vetch. He's got numbers here. Vetch with Baker off the bench and Simonson. That's stopped by pinch, and now the ball is picked up by the Warriors. 40 seconds to go here in the first period. Warriors been screaming for too many men this whole period. Redlick. Ball gets knocked down by the Rebels, and Nickel is going to go away with it. They're calling a timeout, though, as Nickel had a breakaway. So that's unfortunate for Jack Nickel, but the Rebels elect to take the timeout, and they'll try to draw something up 6-on-5 here with just under 30 seconds to play in the opening frame. I want to thank you for joining us here on the channel, CROW LAX TV. All you got to do is hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. So 26.4 seconds to go in the first period. The Rebels offensive coach, James Blanchard, tries to draw something up. And again, I say this a lot. When you see a 6-on-5, generally you're going to see the offensive team throw a guy into the middle and try to draw a defender in there and try to feed it down to maybe somebody getting freed up off a pick down low or somebody coming up high around a seal to get an open shot. And if they don't go to the guy in the middle, then you just hit him with a pass and let him shoot. The Warriors playing a box +1, which is smart, so that middle is a little bit harder to access. And as you see, the Rebels now go into the middle. Kohut, and he was open and he got stopped there by pinch. So the Rebels do a good job of flooding the middle there. You had a couple of guys set up shop there, and now that pass goes awry. And then in front, Dapins almost had another awkward rebounder, but this time it goes wide. And after the first period, it'll be the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels 4, the Edmonton Warriors 1. I want to thank you so much for being with us. We'll be right back here in just under 10 minutes. After 1, Rebels 4, Warriors 1. See you in a little while. I'll talk to you in a bit. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And welcome back inside Bill Hunter Arena for second period action. It's the Rebels leading the Warriors 4-1. The Rebels executing in transition quite often in that period. We'll see if the Warriors have an answer for that and if they can get on the board early and pull themselves back in here. Now off the draw, Bilodeau came in and threw one off the crossbar. Ball will go up and out, but it'll be Warrior possession. Anything off the bar, it stays with the offensive team. Ball down low, Connors looks to the middle. And he had a wide open Royer. He missed the net though. And here come the Rebels. Bajma ducks a check. Gets it out over center. Bajma to Johnson. And Johnson will set up the offense. Now in Kohut. Kohut to Pook. Pook winds and fires, and that goes off the bar and back down the floor into the stick of Martel. Carson Martel, the rookie, out of the Parkland Posse organization, gets it to Pook. Pook down into the offensive zone. Steps underneath a man and gets it up high to Kohut. Kohut swings it into the stick of Daypins. Daypins to Pook, and he floated one at pinch. She stopped it, and they called him for stepping inside the cylinder. Now here are the Warriors. Ball in the stick of Royer. He tried to feed Nicholson cutting through. Ball goes loose. And a couple of players engaged there by the Warrior bench. Two Rebels. Now a couple Warriors join the fray. And Lafleur picks it up and he wildly flings one at the net. Goes wide and high. It'll be Rebel possession. Early here, second period. Rebels looking to extend this 4-1 lead. Baker tried to step up over his defender. Ball goes loose, and it's going to be turned back over. It'll be Warrior ball. Stashnik, he's got a man wide open out the gate. Got to him a little late, but Andrusiak pulled it in and then hit the bar. So that's two posts, one crossbar since this period began. And the Warriors getting close to narrowing this lead. Bajma runs around Cameron. Cameron gets help there from Lentz. Here's Bajma, he hands it off. Kohut. Kohut down Main Street, and he bounces it into the stick of Pinch, who's gonna outlet it. Pinch up to Bilodeau. Bilodeau pulls it in. He's got a wide open man again out the gate. Andrusiak scores. And this time Andrusiak makes good on the wide open chance. The Warriors doing a good job of transitioning and getting guys out quickly on the front gate on the short change. And the third time was the charm. They get one. It's 4-2. Now pulled back. And they're going to award possession to the Rebels. Thiessen. He's going to go low with it down into the near corner. He looks to the middle. Goes in behind the net to Manning. Manning steps out. Just pulled it wide. Manning around the net again. Threw an awkward pass to Joe Levette, who was on the wrong side of the floor. And a high riser from Baker goes up into the glass. And a Warrior Pennock was sent to the floor, but he got back up quickly and got the ball to Redlick. Redlick hands it off to Connors. Connors, drag move underneath Vetch. There's a defender waiting there for him, though. And now Connors swings it into the stick of Andrusiak. Andrusiak, spin move, And shot stopped by Martel. Ball goes loose. Nicholson into the middle. Couldn't grab it. Now the ball remains loose. Nicholson grabs it this time and got away from a Rebel defender on the floor. That was Longmire. Now a hard pick. And that'll be an easy moving pick call. It'll be Rebel ball. Ball gets tossed away here. Unforced turnover. Warriors possession. 4-2 here, 16 minutes to go, middle frame. The home side Warriors trailing the Rebels. Basinger down to Connors. Connors surveys. He comes up high. Tried to flip it inside. And it goes up to Nicholson. Nicholson couldn't grab it, neither could Connors, and here go the Rebels. Bajma takes a heavy whack from Connors, and the ball comes loose. Good check there from Connors. Couldn't really see, there were some people in my way, but he must have got all stick there. Ball up over with Andrusiak. Basinger to Royer. Royer, swim move. High hit. They say on the shoulder. Royer five holes it on Martel. Easy save for him, and here go the Rebels. Thiessen. Here is Pook. Hard pick there by Kohut, moving. It'll be Warriors possession. They got an opportunity to run here. Redlick has got Andrusiak coming out the gate. They'll stop up, and Connors will take it. And the Warriors still in this game as we approach halfway through here. Be interesting to see. You know, the longer this stays close, the more pressure, and really all the pressure is on the Rebels. And if you're the Warriors, you're playing with house money. So the longer this stays close, the more it favors them, and the more the game script flips to them as Bajma gets it up to Manning. Manning steps up, rolls down, and flips it off to Hackett. Simonson over to Baker. Baker, way outside, shoots that wide. Now Jolivet takes a whack. Jolivet down to Manning on the half wall, stopped by Pinch. 14-10 to go now, middle frame. Deficit still 2 for the Warriors. Cameron rolls around his check from Cameron now to Basinger. Basinger down to Connors. Here's Lafleur. Lafleur looking around. Gets it back to Connors. Connors rolls around a check. Connors to the middle of the floor. Connors scores! Ryland Connors just sort of stepped around his check on a little spin move and then went up high on Martel. It's 4-3. Connors, also a rookie, played his minor lacrosse out of the North organization in North Edmonton, and the Warriors only down 1, and they really have played much better lacrosse here in the second period, have had much better chances, and the Rebels have been settling for some bad quality shots. As I say that, the Warriors are going to take a penalty. It looked like Johnson got hit up high. Kohut. Baker. As they do the hidden ball, it's with Kohut. Backdoor, Pook into the paraphernalia of Pinch. And with 13-14 to go and the Rebels up 4-3, the Warriors will go to the box. So up top, it'll be Simonson on the shooters, Kohut and Manning down low. It will be Baker. And I think that might be Jolivet down there. Can't really see his number. It looks like Jolivet. As Simonson gets it and swings it over to Manning. Kohat has moved to the middle of the floor from up top. Simonson, double seal up high. Simonson, quickly over to Manning. Manning, and that shot goes off the side of the post and back over, but because it hit the bar, the Rebels will be saved the back over call. Kohat waiting to pick this up. Now he does, so he gets the fresh reset. Baker, no looker. Jolivet stopped on the low shot. Manning grabs the rainbow loose ball. Manning to the wide open. Jolivet down on the crease. Stopped by Pinch. Pinch making some big saves here. Now picked off by Redlick. That's a great play by Trennan, and he's going to go. Trennan in transition. Redlick spins around and then shoots one down low, and it's shut off by Martel. Here's Nickel, dangerous in transition himself. Will stop up and look to hand off. 55 seconds remaining in the power play here. Rebels still up 1. Here's Simonson. Skips it down to Jolivet. Jolivet, Manning. Over to Kohat. Simonson. No looker to Baker. And he tried to jam one in on the short side or maybe 5-hole, but no dice. Here's Redlick. Nicholson. Nicholson chased by Bajma. Bajma harassing him as he's done much of this game. Nicholson looks to middle. Nobody there. Now he swings it into the stick of Connors. Connors, nice look. Andrusiak on the crease. He gets stopped on the far side by Martel. Ball loose, and then a heavy hit there. No call, just the interference possession call. The Warriors need to send somebody out here. Yeah, they're still short 1. Now they get both guys on the floor. As Basinger down low to Connors. Connors up with it to Royer. Royer, overhand, high to high. Hits the butt end of Martel's stick. Fortunate there were the Rebels, and now they'll transverse back out. Vetch. Pook. Here's Dylan Pook. He's looking. He's weighing his options. Pook rolls around to check. Pook to the middle of the floor. Pook in, and he's stopped by Pinch, who's going to outlet it again, but it's knocked down by Simonson. Ball goes loose. Lentz misses it, and Simonson grabs the loose change. So an extra possession here for the Rebels. The Warriors have killed the penalty off as they go back to 5-on-5. Simonson underneath his check of Lentz. Simonson in behind the net. Tried to get it to Kohat. It's picked up by Jackson. Kohat stopped on a hard low shot there. Good job by Pinch stepping over to the short side and shutting that off. Ball is flipped up, and Lentz is going to knock it down. Lentz chased into the corner by Nickel. Ball still loose. Walsh knocks it into the corner. Now he hacks Lafleur, who's going to run and chase it. And he does end up picking it up, but they need a shot. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Lafleur will float that one in on Martel, and the Warriors will get their change. 9:30 to go here. Second period, 4-3. Rebels lead. Pook to Hackett. Hackett, wild shot there, goes wide on the short side. And it's picked up there by Bilodeau. Bilodeau in, stopped up high. Rebound to Stashniak, who's going to pull out with it. And the Warriors reassess the situation here. Royer up high to Connors. Connors quickly over to Andrusiak. Andrusiak with that little bit of a helicopter type release. Stopped by Martel. Martel gets it to Johnson, and he'll come out with it. And now it's turned over into the stick of Blake Cameron. Blake Cameron is going to come down the near side and tried to hit Nicholson off the bench. It got knocked down. And now the Rebels come back the other way. And then Thiessen threw that over the head of Nickel. And now Jama is going to grab it for the Warriors. Jama chased there by Nickel. He's stripped. And now Nickel takes it back. Nickel chased there by Jama. Nickel, one-handed pass, gets knocked down by a Warrior stick, and Jama is going to transition back out. He gets it to Cameron. Cameron. Down at the feet of Connors. Tough pass there. And Royer helps him with the loose ball. Royer doing a good job to evade the check of Bajma. Royer had no choice but to one-handed and almost snuck it through Martel, but he shut off the near post, pinned his body to the short side. Johnson. Ball on the right side now with Manning. Manning up to the dotted, fires that off of the near post, and that'll go up and out of play. Rebels maintain possession with a fresh 30. Dapins. Baker now on the near wall. He gets a seal there from Kohut. Kohut seals two guys at the same time and allows Baker to step around it and shoot. But that's stopped by Pinch. Not often do you see one guy seal two guys like that, but great work by Kohut. Opened up a huge shooting lane for a dangerous shooter. Pinch doing well to stop that. Now on the far wall. The Warriors trying to do some damage. Lafleur gets turned away as Martel looks up and he hits Vetch. Vetch jogs into the offensive zone. Vetch steps back and now gets it back over to Pook. Pook winds, fires, and misses the far side. About hip high. Hackett throws one into the feet of Pinch, and then a Rebel was thrown into the crease, and they're going to give the Rebels possession. Simonson up top. Thought about the shot. Now he pulls it back. Gets it to Pook. Pook, two-man with Baker. Baker gets thrown down. Now over to Joe Levette on the right side. He gets a hard pick from Manning. Manning's wide open here. Manning in, and he fires it off the near post again. He's loved that short side, but hasn't been able to get it to go. And then as he goes far side and scores, they call moving. And now a breakaway here for the Warriors. Now they're going to say too many. As the Warriors went out the front gate, they're going to say a little early. I was still looking back the other way, so I can't really tell you if I agree with it or not. But instead of the breakaway, the Warriors are going to go short-handed. So now the power play convenes. Simonson over to Manning. He gets it back. And now back over to Kohut. Kohut and Baker on the left side. Baker into the middle. Manning tried to change the release point, and he misses the net, and it'll be Warrior possession. 5:33 to go here, second period, and 1:40 to go on the penalty. Here go the Warriors. Stashnik does a good job there to get around Kohut. And then he throws down Nickel. Nickel, not a small guy either. Not the thickest of guys, but he's got a lot of height. And Brody ran right through him. Now, Royer off the bench. Shoots it low. Martel turns him away. And loose ball here by the Warriors. Warriors really grinding it out here. Trying to kill as much time as possible. And the Rebels come back the other way. Here's Dapins, 2-on-1. Dapins to the net, scores. Dapins with his second of the game. And it will be a power play marker, even though it came in transition. And it's a 5-3 game. Should be out here. Like, I don't know why there was any hesitation to let him out. And he does come out. Well, never mind. There must have been an extra penalty assessed. Oh, there was a new penalty on the play, a slash. And because there was a guy in the box already, it doesn't get wiped out. He has to go serve. Just takes the guy that was already in out. And off the draw, Jama is cross-checked. And they'll give possession here to the Warriors. Here go the Warriors back into the offensive zone, and Redlick has a man open, Andrusiak, and he did a good job to jump in the air to grab it. But after he shot it, he landed in the crease, and the Rebels come back the other way, and here they go. Manning is going to wait for some reinforcements here. 4:30 to go here, second period, and the Warriors trailing 5-3 to the Rebels. Simonson down low, and they try to cross crease pass. It didn't work. Here's Manning. Dangerous from the outside. Manning rips it. That almost got through pinch. Joe Levette. Loose ball. Still 110 on the power. As Manning tried to skip it down to Baker. Baker looks into the middle. He had Kohut there. Decides to go up to Simonson. Simonson behind the back feed to Baker. To Manning. Manning stopped again by pinch. As the ball goes loose and Jolivet collects again. And I think that's a good addition to this power play with the personnel they have available to put Jolivet on the power, because he's very good on loose balls and getting to the tougher areas in the corners and stuff. And what do you know, it ends up in a goal as Simonson rips it home, 6-3. So 2 power play markers extend the lead out for the Rebels. And now Jolivet had a chance to grab it in transition, would have been all alone in front of the net. But the ball, luckily for the Warriors, goes into the crease before he was able to pull it in. Now back the other way with numbers, the Rebels. Bajima tried to hit Thiessen, pass in behind him. Now the ball into the stick of Hackett. Hackett looking around. And he flips it to Manning. Manning to Pook. Pook picks it there. Pook up over the top, and he rips it high over the shoulder of Pinch, 7-3. So the Rebels, after struggling to get much going, have now gone on a quick 3-goal run, and their lead is back out to 4. Again off the draw, here's Thiessen, and he goes off bar. Ball goes up into the ceiling. And it'll be Rebel possession once again with the fresh 30. Didn't really start it in the corner there, and it results in a quick chance there for the Rebels, and then the ball gets sent in from distance, and it's picked up by Kohut. Kohut to the net. Kohut almost outweighted Pinch. I don't know what that hit. I don't know if that got bar or if Pinch stopped that. The ball came flying out. I kind of think that hit bar. As the ball comes back up to the shooter, Manning. He skips it over to Pook on the swing. Pook shoots that to the short side in the middle of the net, and it's stopped by Pinch. 2:14 to go here, second period. Rebels now lead 7-3. Thanks so much for joining us here on the channel. Hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. Manning engages a couple of defenders, originally pushed off a one, and then had a second guy come over to him and sort of simultaneously lost the ball. Now Redlick. Redlick to Connors. He doesn't know he has Walsh on him. Now Connors underneath a check of Vetch. Connors to the net. Connors again up high. That's his second of the game. And it's 7-4. Connors finding his range now. That's a goal that the Warriors Needed badly. Face-off violation. And I'm not sure what the pause is here, but they were awarding the Rebels the ball off of the draw. I don't know if they wanted clarification. I think they wanted clarification on the goal, on who scored, like the numbers on who got the goal and who got the apples on the last Warrior goal. But it looks like they're gonna let the goalies get water here. I was gonna say, I don't really remember any media timeouts in this game. I could be wrong, but don't think I recall any. So, from center, it'll be Rebel possession. And it's going to be Pook who starts out with it. Baker on the half wall. Two-man game with Pook. Pook rolls to the middle. Pook in, and he's stopped by Pinch, and they also say he stepped into the crease. Now quickly up to Lentz. Bad pass, but he did a good job to catch that. Here's Royer. Gets it to Connors. Connors swings it over. And Druziak. He's got Nicholson with him on the left side. Connors now rips it off of a body. Now the ball goes loose. Basinger couldn't pick it up, and the shot clock expires. Here go the Rebels. 1 minute to go here, second period. Now off the bench, Hackett cuts, but Nickel decided that was too tight of a pass. Simonson pushed back over, and it'll be Warrior possession. Here's Jama. He's pushed into the wall. Jama is going to push the ball up the floor, and then it's picked up by Connors. Connors rips one. I think they might have been trying for a 2-for-1 there, but I don't know why. Now a breakaway pass to Manning, and he's stopped by Pinch. Pinch has had his number here tonight. And now the Warriors will take a timeout and undoubtedly go 6-on-5 and try to narrow this down to a 2-goal spread. 7-4 here with 25 seconds to go in the middle frame. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. CROW LAX TV, you'll be notified every time a game goes live. And we'll be with you throughout the summer. Go all the way up and through the Larry Bishop, which takes place the first weekend of August. And an Alberta champion will be crowned and sent off to the Founders Cup, the national championship that will be held in Calgary this year, hosted by the Calgary Shamrocks. Here's Connors, he's gonna run it up the floor. Royer plays catch with Basinger on the right. Ball over with the lefts now. Nicholson threw it behind an unsuspecting Lafleur, and now it's picked up, and the Rebels have a loose or open net here on the loose ball. Loose ball still, and Bajma is going to grab it. Bajma misses the net, and as the last second ticks off the clock, the Rebels will go to the room up 7-4. So in just under 10 minutes time, we'll return for third period action. After 2, it is the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels 7, the Edmonton Warriors 4. See you in just a little bit. welcome back inside Bill Hunter Arena for third period action, where the Rebels lead the Warriors by a score of 7-4. The Warriors made it close about halfway through that period, went on a little run, narrowed the lead down to 1, and then the Rebels went on a 3-goal run to close the period and extend out to 4 before the Warriors answered back with 1, and that's where we sit here with 1 period to go. And off the draw, it's going to be picked up by Bajma. Bajma, near boards. Takes a hack. Now he gets it up high to Thiessen, who changes and gets it to Pook. Pook, shot from a really rough angle. Gets picked up. And it transitioned out by Bilodeau. It's not a shot you want if you're the Rebels. Bilodeau to Nicholson. Nicholson. Near side here, down low now on the crease. Back up high. Looking to middle, gets it to Royer. Royer down to Connors. Connors is going to run up to the top, loses it. And the loose ball is picked back up by Connors. Connors to Andrusiak, and he scores! As the ball sort of rolled through Martel, he kind of dropped it out of his stick from an up high release point. And the ball hit Martel and rolled in. 7-5. Now draw, and it's going to be pushed over near the Warrior bench, and Pook takes a whack. He doesn't like it. Wanted a call. And now Stashnik takes a whack from Simonson. Yeah, probably don't like either of those. As ball up high. Andrusiak, one-hand pass. It's not going to get to well, it does go to Nicholson, who came back through the middle to grab it. But the shot clock's going to expire. And it'll be Rebel ball. Here's that is Bajma. He's going to transition out. Bajma gets it up high to Joe Levette. Joe Levette to Cohot, quickly to Baker. Now wide open off the bench is Hackett, and he scores. Hackett right down Main Street. Saw a couple of those for the Rebels. In this game, somebody on the Warriors just losing their coverage. It's 8-5. Draw gets pulled back, and Johnson is going to pick it up. Johnson. Couple of Warriors on him. They knock it loose. And here they go. Bilodeau getting whacked. Gets a heavy cross check there, and Johnson's stick snaps. You can hear that up here. As Bilodeau is a sizable man. Not exactly tall, but he's really thick. Nicholson pushes that way wide. And the ball is going to bounce into the Rebel zone, or into the Rebel bench. Here's Cohot. Cohot chased there by Evelyn. He drops the ball down to Manning. Manning pick set there by Joe Levette. Manning over to Simonson. Simonson drag move underneath. Simonson to the net, and he crease dove. And they say he touched down inside the crease. They'll blow it dead. And here go the Warriors. Oof. Another heavy hack there on the hip. Those ones hurt, my friends. If you haven't played this game, those ones hurt. Nothing down there on the side of the thigh. the Rebels come back down the other way. Thiessen. Thiessen. Defers to Kohut. Kohut has some room. Kohut rips it wide. Ball pops up in the air. It'll be back over. 16:41 to go in the third frame. Rebels, as they have been up for much of this game, are in that 2 to 3 goal lead range right now as we go down the stretch. Out of the corner goes Lafleur. He swings it to Royer. Royer has a lane. Royer just missed the far side. He had some room over there. And now the Rebels will go back the other way. Here is Jack Nickel. Nickel in transition. Nickel, one-hand pass down to Walsh, who hit the bar. And here's Pinch, flipping it to Redlick, who little jump step there and gets around his check. Redlick looking to dish. He gets it quickly to Royer, and Royer rips it wide, and now the Rebels are going to chase it. Back into the Warrior zone. It'll be over and back, and the Rebel offense will hit the floor. Here is Kohut trying to grab a pass in front of the net. Missed him. Now Cameron bumps Manning into the boards. Easily an interference call. They didn't get it, but Manning and Cameron go at it. And now back the other way. Here's Pook. Pook. Manning picks up the loose ball. Manning back over to Pook. Pook flips it to Hackett. Behind him, Hackett tried to muck the loose ball, and now Lentz will pick it up, and Lentz is going to go. Dylan Lentz gets stripped there by Hackett, and Hackett will come back the other way. Braden Hackett going to get doubled here, as he got run at pretty good there. And a couple of players go down there as the ball goes back into the Rebel zone. Vetch. 15 minutes to go now, third period. As they count down the shot clock, as there was a faulty reset, Kohut steps back and misses the net. 14:52, still 8-5. I don't even know if the Warrior, I just realized this. Okay, no, they do. They don't have Bialik dressed, but they do have a backup on the bench. As Nicholson collects the loose ball. Nicholson in around the net. Nicholson up across the top as a Warrior is down and hurt. Lafleur. It looks like they're taking Lafleur to the box after he was down on the ground hurt. Maybe both. And so Lafleur will go to the box for the Warriors, and Walsh will go to the box for the Rebs. As the two benches lobby for possession off of this. And they might be kicking Walsh out here for 5 penalties. I don't know. I'm wondering if that's what they were asking about, if he has 5 penalties. Must not be, because he's staying in the box. So I don't know what that discussion was about. Maybe that's what they were asking and he doesn't have 5. But it's going to be Warrior ball. The Rebels bench wants to know why it's Warrior possession, I guess. But it indeed will be with the Warriors. And so they'll start up here, 4-on-4. Connors over there with Royer. Tried to feed Royer back on the pick and roll, and the ball got knocked loose. Here's Nicholson. Nicholson to the net. Dylan Nicholson grabbed a little bit, and they do call it. Nicholson Nicholson picks up his own loose ball and rips it off of Walsh. And the ball gets picked up by the Rebels. And they'll go to the box. So the Warriors will have a 4-on-3 advantage here with 14:05 to go, down 3. And again, I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, penalty shot. Sorry? Oh, I know. I corrected that like 2 periods ago. Oh. I get the. He's still saying it. Definitely not. I'm definitely not still saying Carpenter. Anyways, so the Rebels are. It looks like they're going penalty shot here because I think they might have awarded. I think they might have given the Rebels 2 additional, or like an additional penalty to the hold. And Connors will go in on the penalty shot. Rylan Connors in. And Martel turns him down. So the Warriors, I believe, will go to the 4-on-3 now. It'll be a face-off off the penalty shot. And it should be 4-on-3 because you can't play 4-on-2. So that's why you saw the Warriors get the penalty shot. Now they'll go 4-on-3. As they try to sort out clock issues. Like we're ready to go here. So 4-on-3 Warriors now, still trailing 8-5. Jama ties it up with day pins. Loose ball to the near boards, and it's going to be picked up by Nicholson. The Warrior power play will hit the floor, and this is a pretty much must-have here if you want to try and come back in this one. Down 3 with 13.5 to go. Skip down to Nicholson, cross floor or cross crease pass, and just unable to bring it in was Connors. Here's Nicholson around the net. Dylan Nicholson, stopped by Martel. And they call crease, but the ball is blown back in and turned back over by the Rebels. The Warriors need to go quick here. Nicholson to the net, misses the net. And Royer picks it up. And Druziak, Nicholson, Royer, and that's a good soak there by the Rebels. Ball goes loose to the bench, and now the ball comes back into the zone, and it's picked up by Andrusiak. Andrusiak chased there by Bajma, who strips him. And now Bajma is going to turn around and go with possession. Bajma. Checked there and marked by Nicholson. Now Evelyn comes over to help. Evelyn pins Bajma to the boards. Ball goes loose, and here goes Nicholson. He's got Lafleur with him, a little bit too far away to get over in time. And the Warriors have 13 seconds to go on the man advantage. And taking their time getting out here. Down low, Connors to the net, stopped by Martel. Ball goes loose. And the ball now in Rebel possession. Longmire to Vetch. Vetch. Checked there by Jama. Up high, Kohut. Baker. As a Warrior goes down there. Ball back out to the Rebels. They get the reset. Joe Levette. Manning. Pick set there. Now Manning up into the middle of the floor, and he almost got that shot to roll through pinch. And Jama throws that right into the stick of Simonson. Simonson. Hit there by Jama. And hands off. Here's Manning to the net. Manning stopped by pinch. And here go the Warriors. Redlick. Connors down to Royer. Warriors needing a run here. Third period as a cutter went through. That was Lafleur. And on the handball, the Rebels will take possession. Here's Vetch 2-on-1. He's got Pook with him. Pook right off the bench and try to behind the back. They say he stepped in the crease. And the Warriors turn back the other way. Cameron to Nicholson. Nicholson. Two defenders over there. Warriors slow change again here, as Nicholson had to take on two defenders there for a good 5 seconds. Now the ball is picked up. Connors out of the corner, and that gets stopped by Martel. Ball up high, Lafleur. Rolls around a check, and that goes wide. Ball up high, bounces near center, and it's picked up by Connors, and he just had to roll it back into the Rebel zone with the shot clock winding down. Although he probably had a little bit more time than he thought. Vetch. Joe Levette. 8-5, the Rebels lead here as we dip underneath the midway point of the third period. Baker looking around. Baker to the net, and he misses it. Now Warriors will come back the other way, and now the Warriors take an undisciplined penalty, and the Rebels will go back to the power play. Yeah, cross check, and Evelyn goes to the box. So with 9:11 to go, the Rebels an opportunity here to extend the lead out a little bit further. Simonson will kick-start it. Simonson, Manning, back to Simonson. As the Rebels work it around the perimeter. Simonson. Back over to Manning. Manning got it to Daypins, who tried to feed it to Simonson in the middle. Now Kohut twists one into the feet as they don't start the game clock here in the arena. It's been about a full 30 seconds since that took place. Clock just going now as Cameron goes around the net. Takes a hack and then takes a stiff check there from Bajma, who's been all around it here tonight. Been very noticeable for the Rebels. Here's Baker. Coat. Down low. Here's Pook. Pook fakes it. Back up high to Baker. Baker rips that off of a Warrior defender up at the top of the box. Manning goes and picks up the loose ball. Manning tried to sneak one in there on the short side, and it'll be a shot clock violation. And the Warriors transverse out. Connors on his wrong side has to retreat. Connors over, far wall. Here's Basinger. Basinger back up to Connors. Connors waiting for a pick. Connors is going to step into one, and that ball rolls wide just off of Martel's leg. And now here go the Rebels. 7:58 to go now, third period. As this game's really slowed down here in the third. I've noticed all game long, like both teams, very slow on and off the floor, and when teams have decided to, they've gotten fast breaks really easily because of that. And at the same time, the slow changes offensively have put a lot of pressure on the ball carrier, having to wait around for guys to hit the floor. As pinch outlets up to Babiak. Babiak is going to have to hurry to get over, and they call him for 8 seconds. Here go the Rebels, back in transition. Manning steps, and he gets stopped. He went through the crease, and it'll be Warrior ball. Here's Nicholson. Nicholson marked there by Bajma. Nicholson pushed into the corner. Nicholson holding on to it for a long time here. He stepped in the back of the crease. The ball will turn it over into Rebels possession. 6:55 to go, still 8-5 Rebels. Bajma, it's gonna go right to the net. Could have shot that if you wanted to, decides not to. Simonson. Cohut swings it. Jolivet rolls around momentarily on Redlick, but Redlick recovered. Now Dapins picks up the loose ball and then chucks it right off of the leg of Redlick. Redlick over to Basinger. Basinger down low to Connors. Connors steps off of a check. He holds on to it, moves it back down to the half wall where Basinger awaits. Andrusiak, that low shot misses the net. Ball bounces back over as the shot clock expires. And it'll be Rebels ball. Here's Dapins. Ball goes loose, and Pinch picks it back up. Pinch up the floor to Evelyn, and he doesn't handle that pass, and Walsh will collect. Ball now with Manning. Manning underneath his check. He gets hit high by Jama, and that's going to be a penalty. As the Rebels power play will go back to work, up 8-5. This time Baker will go up top. Baker over to Coat. Down low to Simonson. Here's Jolivet. Coat, Simonson into the middle for Jolivet. Stopped by Pinch as he cut in off of the little seal. As Redlick will come back over center here pretty easily and stop up. Here's Rylan Connors now. Double comes. Bajma and Walsh. Walsh knocks the ball away. Connors trying to strip it from Bajma, but Bajma works his way in and then tried to flip it around his back to Vetch. Vetch takes a hard hit and gets it up high to Kohut. 4:30 to go. Rebels power play down to a minute. They lead 8-5. Baker, that shot soaked by the Warriors, and LaFleur is going to run away and grab the loose ball. And once they kill this, I'd imagine the Warriors will start pulling pinch and going 6-on-5, trailing by 3 here late in the game. Royer up top to LaFleur. LaFleur to the half wall. Nicholson. Marked there by Nicholson forced a twister in and went way wide. Rebel ball. 3:45 now to go. 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Jolivet, Baker. Kohut back up to Baker. Skips it to Simonson. Good feed there and good stop there by Pinch, who stepped to the near post. And now another Warrior undisciplined penalty here, as Blake Cameron is going to go to the box. And he'll go for roughing. So with 3:28 to go, the Rebels have a very, very brief 5-on-3 here for 6 seconds, and then they'll go 5-on-4, barring a goal that doesn't take place after those 6 seconds are up. The Warriors return to the floor, and the Rebels smartly wait for that to happen, and they'll go 5-on-4 now. Baker looks, feeds. That was way too high for Simon. Really hot pass and too hard and high for Simonson. Up high, Baker shoots that off the floor and out. And now into the bench. Be Warrior possession. Here are the Warriors, and that's Pennock. Ball in the stick of Andrusiak. Andrusiak flips it down to Nicholson. Nicholson, check there by Johnson. As Nicholson tried to swing that over to Royer. Goes off his stick into the mesh. And it'll be Rebel ball. Walsh, hands off there to Simonson. The Warrior bench yells at Babiak, they're short, get back in the box. As the ball skipped across the crease, and it's going to be picked up by Redlick. Redlick is going to go. Redlick is going to have to stop up as he's cut off there by Baker. Connors twister, stopped by Martel. And now Basinger picks up the loose ball. Basinger flips it down to Connors. Connors rolling around there. Eventually lost it in heavy traffic, and the Rebels' nickel turns back. 1:40 to go now. Rebels still nursing that 8-5 lead. Kohut down to Simonson. Rebels got 5 seconds on the power remaining. Into the middle, and Pook. Awkward shot there. Into the pads of Pinch. Jama up floor, Cameron out of the box. As Cameron hands off there to Nicholson, and Pinch comes out of the net. They'll go 6-on-5 with 1:15 to go. They got to hurry here, down 3. No real urgency though here. Nicholson. LaFleur as they try a seal. And that shot comes in and it's stopped. The Rebels pick it up in behind their own net, and Walsh comes up floor to Johnson. Johnson thought about trying to throw one into the partially open net, but he'll wait. Here's Kohut. Kohut is gonna hang on to it here. And Rebels will just throw it deep into the Warriors zone. And the Warriors will call timeout with 25 seconds remaining, down by 3. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight on CROW LAX TV. Hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time a game goes live. Here with you all summer long, right through the Larry Bishop. Taking place this year in Fort Saskatchewan, where an Alberta champion will be crowned and sent off to the Founders Cup, being held in Calgary this year, the Junior B National Championship, hosted by the Calgary Shamrocks. So the Warriors will look to make this, if nothing else, a little tighter of a final score. And Royer collects the pass, and he gets it over to Lafleur. Back to Royer. He missed it. And Royer collects the loose ball, but he's checked. Now Connors with the loose ball. Winds and fires. Ball pops up to the far boards. Where Basinger controls it, but the clock's going to run out here. And that shot sent in by Nicholson. And that'll do it. The final score here from Bill Hunter Arena. The Fort Saskatchewan Rebels 8, the Edmonton Warriors 5. The Rebels improve to 5-3 on the season and remain in first, while the Warriors drop to 2-6 and remain in fourth in the North Division. Final score here from Edmonton. The Warriors go down to the Rebels by a score of 8-5. And we want to thank you for tuning in. There's going to be plenty of action here all weekend long on the channel. Games all over the place. We've got some junior female, we've got junior B, we've got tier 2, and we've got some senior action as well. So keep it dialed on the channel. And once again, final score here from Bill Hunter Arena, the Fort Saskatchewan Rebels 8, the Edmonton Warriors 5. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.